I'm not happy with the answers. And when you talk about, you want to go back to the 3.2%, what we're being shown here is a top-down analysis, right? So top-down analysis begins with a narrative and a conclusion. And this is what we're showing people. Bottoms-up analysis begins with the data. So I think that what we've been doing here and the questions we have is starting with the data. So I can say to you, yes, from what you've shown me, your narrative, your conclusion looks good. But I can say from the questions that I have, the data doesn't jive with the top-down analysis. So, for instance, DPW, yes, and I read the mayor's message. Okay, I read it. All right, so DPW, I think it's only like a 3.2% increase. And then in salaries and wages. I think though overall it's like 15%. However,
No, it's a decrease.
it's a decrease. Okay, well, that's even worse. Okay, so, but what's going up in DPW are the expenses, the salary and wages for the janitors and the cleaning people. I guess, right, because they needed to get paid back.
They call them laborers, but
The laborers,
nobody knows what.
pardon me, I apologize for that. For the laborers. So if we take out that amount of money that we're paying them, the amount of money that actually is going to DPW to the people, if we take out the laborers and that number is actually a lot less. So, when you extract that number, it's a whole different ball of wax. I asked about why in the New Jersey American Water, there's appropriations, expenditures, and a look back for 2023. And I was told that's something New Jersey American Water does, and I'd have to contact them. But it's on a schedule that we received in our packet. And expended and look back are not the same number. And then we have a new number for recommended. The library, the court costs for Allenhurst and Avon are revenue, but they're also an expenditure. And I understand how that can work, but it has to be within the appropriations of our overall cost. But these answers that were given to me are not great. And the final thing is, I hope this wasn't written by you, Mr. Gartz, but when asking about salaries and personnel, whoever wrote back to me said, it is quite common for departments to complain or object to the loss of personnel. It is also quite common for departments to seek additional staff to respond to requests for service. 2023 budget reviews and council-manic directives made it clear the reductions in costs were needed. Staff reductions respond to this directive. What is the definition of council-manic? I don't know.
So at the end of 2023, I can explain that. End of 2023, not end of 2023, I'm sorry, end of the budget process at the end of 2023. We agreed to take a very systemic approach to cost reduction. Okay, that's what we did. And one of the reasons I believe that we have the reserve that we have coming out of 2023 is that we did operate in a very austere manner. So that's going to pay us dividends with this, but with the surplus replenishment. And I would challenge, I've already had a good discussion with Mr. Gartz that I hope that we can exceed his expectation on that, because our mindset hasn't changed around that. We'll continue on a very austere path. That was something that I think it was done by resolution that we would do that, and we did that.
So that's a compliment.
That's all.
That's a compliment.
Yes.
Council-manic.
That just means pertaining to a council person.
Do we know who wrote that?
Well,
Honestly, I don't know.
I authored this with one other person.
Greg Fehrenbach. Correct?
Yes, Greg and I. So does that answer your question?
Sounds like Mr. Fehrenbach.
So I just want to be clear. Do you understand the fact that this was a directive that we took very seriously? And one of the reasons we put this cost reduction bucket on that message was this is the fruits of that labor. So $183,000 of reductions we've been able to bring into 2024 and I think generate more excess in 2023 versus what we spent. So we've got $1 million of budget in 2023 that we didn't spend. And I'm hoping that we enjoy a lot of that because the other thing is, I think what we've encumbered to date and what will come as additional encumbrances, I think we're going to be hopefully pleasantly surprised because our mindset is around cost containment. Everybody's doing purchase orders the right way. If people are not requesting funds the appropriate way, we're telling them about it. So we haven't taken a very austere approach, and I can imagine there's a few department managers in the room that would probably nod to that in that context. So I just want to make that point.
Thank you.